Life Lessons Podcast. This is Doug Spence. I just wanted to remind you that you're alive. That you're here. That you're here on Earth. And you have air in your lungs. And you have a body. And you can do things. Just want to remind you that you're here. And that you're here for a purpose. That you're here for a reason. I want to remind you that everything you do makes an impact on this world. I want to remind you that what you do is important. That who you are is important. And who you're being is important. I want to remind you that you're here to learn. And that you're here to love. And that you're here to create. And all of those things are important. I want to remind you that you live in a loving universe. And that all the challenges that you're having or that you've ever had have a hidden blessing. They have a benefit. I want to remind you that everything you need is here. Everything you want is here in this reality. It's all around you. And it's not only here, it's here now. It's here presently, in this exact moment. The thing that you want or that you need is all around you, somewhere. You just have to look for it. I want to remind you that nothing is missing. You just have to look for it. I want to remind you to appreciate everything. Not just the good things, not just the things you like, not just the things that support you. I want you to appreciate everything, everyone. I want to remind you that those things also have a purpose. And that they're more than what you perceive them to be. I want to remind you that you are infinite. That your capacity to learn and to love, to grow and to expand and to connect, your capacity to do all of those things are infinite. And I want to remind you that every other person, every other soul you have ever met is also infinite. And that they're also growing. And they're also evolving. And they're also learning. I want to remind you that you live in a time where abundance and opportunity are everywhere. I want to remind you that change is happening every moment, every second. Change is happening. But at the same time, everything is a constant. Everything you need is constantly there. Yet everything is ever changing all around you. I want to remind you that everything that has ever happened to you and that will happen to you and that's happening to you now is love. For your benefit and for your growth, it's to help you be more authentic, more true to yourself. There to help you connect, to help you live your life in alignment, to help you choose who you're being, to help you be more present, to help you to learn and to increase your capacity to love. It's all happening for you, for your benefit. I want to remind you that our time here is limited, at least in this body. Maybe one day we'll come back in a new body with a new family, new connections, new lessons. But in this lifetime, it's limited. I want to remind you that the more authentic you're being, the more on purpose you will become. And the more things will change around you. And you'll start to see synchronicities and funny coincidences. I want to remind you to focus on creating what you want. I want to remind you to not settle for less. I want to remind you to not compromise yourself, to stay true to yourself. I want to remind you to love yourself. I want to remind you to appreciate yourself, to accept yourself. I want to remind you that everything you've ever done, you've done because with the information you had, it was the right thing for you to do at the time. It was something you needed to do. I want to remind you that there are no mistakes. That everything you may believe was a mistake was done for a reason. For your benefit and for your growth. I want to remind you that you can become whatever you want to be. That no one is greater or lesser than you. That everyone is a reflection of you. And that if you see something in someone that you admire, that you have it as well. You only have to look for it within yourself. And if you see something in someone that you despise, you have that as well. I want to remind you that everything has a purpose, including the things that we call bad, the things that we hate, or the things that we despise. And I want to remind you that we're all evolving. We're all growing. We're all learning. And we're all helping each other to learn, to grow, and to evolve. So I hope this information gets to you, and I hope you start to see some truth in this. And take notice how you feel when you believe these things. And if you believe the opposite, take note of how you feel when you believe the opposite. And take notice which beliefs are serving you, which beliefs are moving you toward what you want, which beliefs are helping you to create the life that you want, which beliefs are empowering you. All right, guys. Life Lessons Podcast. My name's Doug Spence. If you're interested in affordable life coaching, check out my website, SpenceLifeCoaching.com.